Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over Invest 94L. So, pretty much Invest 94L is just something we are watching in the Atlantic. It is in the open Atlantic, as you can see. Not much of a huge chance of it developing in the next 2 days, but that does increase as we get throughout the next few days after that. Now, you can see right now, here it is. It's not that put together. You can see it tried to form, and then you can just see it kind of weakens, and then something else tries to form. So really, it's having a hard time coming together. We are expecting over the next 5 to 7 days for this to start coming together a little bit more. But right now, we are watching it. Right now, we really don't know what it's going to do. But I will show you where this is going to track possibly, and kind of show you what its intensity could become, because that is what we really need to be watching out for. But right now, we're still trying to watch this and see how it's going. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the Atlantic 2-day outlook. Let's actually go to the 5-day outlook. That's easier to do. You can see this is kind of the development area. We have a 50% chance of it developing, and you can see it does keep the southern track. This is a very good track for development. So here we have pretty favorable conditions, and you can see how it is heading towards the Caribbean islands around there, and you can see it has a lot of area in front of it that it can develop. So over the next 5 days, we have a 50% chance. It says a broad area of low pressure associated with a tropical wave is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles of the Cabo Verde Islands. So as I was saying, it's just having a hard time coming together. It has very disorganized showers and thunderstorms. A gradual development of the system is possible, and a tropical depression could form by the middle of next week. With this, while the system moves westward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic Ocean. So pretty much what we are going to have to be watching is where is this going to go. So you can see right now it's supposed to be in this area. Now this says by mid next week it should turn into a tropical depression, which is around, of course, your Wednesday, so it's around that time. So if we were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have about 4 or 5 days, as this did say. So we actually do that chance is probably going to go up. We should see a tropical depression in the next 5 days, somewhere along this area, and it should go somewhere through here. Now I will show you what I do mean by this, but you can see it keeps that southern track, which is actually pretty favorable for this, and that's kind of what we're watching. You can see other parts of the Atlantic. We have Gabrielle with 50-mile-per-hour storms, not going to affect the U.S. It could affect Ireland and the U.K., northern U.K. I did check today. It's not I'm not too worried about that one for us. I mean, I'm not worried at all for the U.S., but I'm not too worried overall about that. And you can see Dorian is now it's not a tropical storm anymore. It's not like a tropical system. It's pretty much just like last time I checked, I don't really know what they said, but it's still a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane. But you can see it's still very dangerous, moving at 29 miles per hour northeast, and it is still affecting parts of coastal Maine. But it is affecting, and it will keep affecting Nova Scotia and Newfoundland with hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings. So as I was talking about with Dorian, really quick, you can see right here this says remnants of Dorian. I'm not sure, but if it's not a real tropical and it's post-tropical, I'm not really sure, but we're not really going to talk about that right now. But it's still a very dangerous storm with 100-mile-per-hour winds. So if you're anywhere in Newfoundland or Nova Scotia, be careful when it comes to Dorian. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into Invest 94L. So you can see right here, we are expecting this track is where it would be forming. And we are pretty sure that's what it's going to do. Now you can see after that, it kind of just goes anywhere it wants. Some of them keep it going this way, and some of them take it a little bit more north. And one model keeps taking it north a little bit more. One of those advanced models that go a little farther. So we are going to have to see what it does do after this. Now, if we were to look at the GFS ensembles, GEFS, and you can see this pretty much keeps the same area, and it's looking like it's going to stay somewhere in this general area over the next 5 days. So this is, of course, where they are expecting development. And you can see beyond that, it could hit the Lesser Antilles. That's kind of where we're watching for it to hit. So that's very concerning, since we already did see Dorian hit that area this year. We could see this hit too. So if we were going to look at the CMC ensembles, you can see this is the GEPS, and it's pretty much in the same general area. And after that, we really don't know where it's going to go. It could go anywhere in here. That's kind of what we're expecting. So it could go anywhere in here, but the big bunch of the models takes it somewhere in here, somewhere around here, and another bunch of models does take it into the Caribbean or Caribbean, whatever you want to say, and that's kind of where we're watching. So if anywhere past here is kind of where we really don't know what's going to go on yet. It could enter the Caribbean, or it could miss the Caribbean and keep going towards the U.S. So either way, this could be affecting the U.S. If we were to look at the intensity guidance, you can see how we are expecting this to be a tropical storm pretty soon. A lot of these models are saying that this should become a tropical storm sometime in its lifetime. It's beyond us, probably like 5 days, but that's pretty soon if you think about it. So we could be seeing a tropical storm by next week, sometime next week, probably mid or late week, and you can see a lot of models are taking it up there into that tropical storm area, and we are definitely having to take a look at this because a lot of them are keep going and going towards that category 1 hurricane. So we are going to have to watch and see where this does go, but the CMC ensembles really do get you thinking that a lot of these models do keep it going towards the U.S., so that's kind of what we're having to watch. If we were to look at the wind shear, you can see right here, this is Dorian up here. It's in not really favorable conditions, lots of wind shear, cooler waters. It's going to not really favorable conditions. Here's tropical storm. I don't know if it's tropical storm or tropical depression yet. Let me check. I know I keep going back here. I just want to I think I'm pretty sure it's still a tropical storm. It's been all over the place. Yeah. Tropical Storm Gabrielle. So here's Tropical Storm Gabrielle. It's entering this area, so not very favorable conditions for development either. Gets in a lot of that wind shear. Your lighter blues and maybe even your lighter greens is kind of the favorable areas, but especially the blues is where it's really favorable. So if we were to look around here is where it is right now. And if we're expecting it to be moving through here, somewhere through here of the next 5 days, I would say that looks pretty favorable. There's really not anything in the way. There's a few spots of yellow along the way, but there's really nothing going in the way of it. Now, once it gets over here in this region where Dorian went, you can see there's quite a bit of wind shear in the way of that. So that's where this, if it does go through here, it would be shredded apart, possibly. Now, Dorian was not really shredded apart. It just went down 10 miles an hour, then redeveloped through here. Now, you can see if it went anywhere across here, so that it does get messed up. So pretty much this does have it. This really does have it going through here, a lot of the models. So it could run through some wind shear, but you can see past it, we don't have much wind shear in the way. So it's kind of what we're having to watch, because really that's if it was to enter the Caribbean, that's kind of where our main concern is. For a lot of land, because that would be the Caribbean. But if you were to think about it the other way, we're not as concerned for the U.S. that way, because a lot of the wind shear could kind of mess up the system. But either way, if it does get through here, we have a lot of favorable conditions around the U.S. coastline that we are going to have to be watching. So it's not looking good with this system. It could be another hurricane or tropical system on our hands in the U.S. So we are definitely going to have to see what does happen beyond the Caribbean islands. Now, if we were to look at the ocean temperatures, you can see right now it is around here, and it's in that warmer, the temperatures are warmer there, 25 degrees Celsius, so pretty warm conditions in there. Now you can see once we get into the Gulf, really warm water, so pretty favorable conditions. Now you do have to think about some of the wind shear that is in there, but there's really not as much wind shear either. But if it was to enter the Gulf, we have a big concern for that, especially if this is a strong system by then. If any wind shear that does get in this, if it's not strong enough, it really won't mess this system up. The system will kind of get rid of it. That's usually what does happen with systems. A lot of systems, if it's not terrible wind shear, it can kind of push it out of the way. So you can see right here, if it was to take this track, there's pretty warm waters along the whole way, and there wasn't a lot of wind shear right there. Now, once you get over here, there in this area, conditions get a little bit less favorable with the wind shear, but we still do have those really warm waters across there. And we are going to have to see. But if we were to move through here, you can see really warm waters across here. You can see some specks of red in there. And if it was to go through here, you have those reds. So anywhere around the U.S. coastline, there are really warm waters. So if it was to get past the Caribbean, we have a lot of concerns after that, just like we did Dorian. So if you're anywhere across the Gulf or the southeast United States, we are going to have to watch this, maybe even the whole East Coast. We are going to have to watch this. There's a chance that it could fade away over here, but there also is a big chance that it could hit the U.S. So we are going to have to watch that. Now you can see Gabrielle, you're going through here. It's going to, it's going to go away. Dorian, well, it's not going to completely go away, but a lot of the impacts, and you can see Dorian, you're around here, so you're leaving those favorable waters around now. It's about to leave those most favorable waters. It'll be in here pretty soon, so it's going to go away for good, and we're not really going to have to worry about it if in the U.S. or Canada, so that's a good sign. But anyway, Invest 94L should be developing somewhere here in the next 5 days. Tomorrow, I am expecting us to have a winter forecast. I am working on it right now. Right here, you can see in this slot, I am working on it, so that's kind of, I just wanted to fill this in today, and hopefully we do have a winter forecast all tomorrow. But I hope everyone did enjoy today's video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. We'll have to keep our eye on this, but I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.